Hi, my name's Phil Gardner and welcome to Fun with Boxes, where today we're going to take a look at a brand new board game that is going to be released at GenCon 2025, which, as I film this, is a mere few days or a week away. And what is this game? Well, this game, and it's got a rather lovely cover, is called Guildlands. And I want to give a big shout out and thanks to Paul from Outset Media Games for sending me a copy of this game to take a look at on the channel. So what is Guildlands? Well, this is a game for 2 to 6 players and will take around an hour to play. And it's designed by Boyter and Kedric. And as the tagline says, choose your guild, lay your tiles, rebuild the city. You will be laying tiles to rebuild roads, markets, gardens and defences. And you'll deploy workers to claim key locations, block opponents and control the flow of the city. So there you have it. This is such an interesting game. Well, before I get into that, why don't we take a look at first what you get in a game of Guildlands, and then we'll have a look at how you set up and how you play this rather interesting puzzle of a game. Well, let's take a look at what we get in the game Guildlands. Well, we have a small rules booklet giving us the overview of the game as well as the contents. And here we have the object of the game and the setup. This is about the different guild boards, about gold coins, preparing the tiles, and then we're on to playing the game. And we have some actions here, mandatory actions, and some special actions. And we have some information around road patterns and an extra action there. And then we've got details of the end of the game and how you win the game. Okay, we have a small punch board here of gold coins by the looks of it. And we have, okay, here we have the different guilds. So each guild will have one of these, very nice quality. So we've got the Road Toll Collectors Guild, we've got the Merchants Guild, the Wizards Guild, the Druids Guild, the Gardeners Guild, and no chuckling in the back there. Just because my name's Phil Gardner, it doesn't mean that automatically this is my guild, though perhaps it will be. And then the City Watch Guild. So now we've got, wow, oh yes, we've got a wonderful score pad here. Absolutely wonderful, and there's a ton of it and it's all double-sided as well. That is really terrific to see, and my goodness, which smells wonderful. Not that that means anything, but it does. Okay, we have a pencil, very nice, and we have some various game components. So let's take a look at these. So, no idea what these do in the game, but we've got 3 of those. We've got some of these, and we've got what looks to be like a bridge and almost some like castles or walls. So we have those. And we also have what I assume are the player pieces there. And then we have a load of tiles. Now I won't take all of these out, but as you can see, plenty of tiles in there. And that's what you get in Guildlands. Let's put everything back into the box. So there we have it, a nice little insert and a nice cover to this box as well. So there you are, Guildlands. Choose your guild, lay your tiles, rebuild the city. Okay, so what is the object of the game? Well, Guildlands is a tile-laying game for 2 to 6 players, and your goal is to rebuild Ferrum's fort and earn points with your guild's abilities. And the player with the highest score after placing the final tile will win. Okay, so first let's take a look at the setup. First thing you need to do is to choose a guild. Now, each of the guilds comes with its own board and tokens. So as you can see here, the City Watch Guild, this comes with 2 workers and 4 wall tokens. So if you were wanting to play the City Watch Guild, you would take all these pieces and then put them in front of yourself. If you wanted to do the Gardener's Guild, well, you would take their 2 workers and their 2 fountain tokens. Druids, you will take their 2 workers and shrine. The Wizards Guild, you will take their 2 workers and 2 wizard tower tokens. And the merchants, you would take their 2 workers and their pop-up market token. And then finally, the Road Toll Collectors Guild. You would take their 2 tokens and their bridge token. So now let's take a look at the guild board. Now the guild boards will detail each guild's unique abilities, and you will need to study these carefully as each one is specific to its own guild. We have a reminder here of the end game scoring, and then on the back of the guild tile is an example of how that particular guild scores. So I won't go into this just yet. Let's continue with the setup. Now the next thing you will do is distribute the gold coins, and these are based on the number of players. So in a 2 to 3 player game, everyone gets 3 coins each. In a 4 to 5 player game, everyone gets 2 coins each, and in a 6 player game, everyone gets 1 coin each. Now finally, we need to prepare the tiles, and we need to place the starting tile, which has got a gold statue on it and has a yellow back. Take this tile and place it into the center of your play area. Now you take the rest of the tiles, and they'll all have this blue back, and give these a good old shuffle. And then what we need to do is to reveal 5 of them. So if I just take these, for example, and what we would do is put the rest of them into a stack. So we've shuffled up all the tiles, put 5 tiles out randomly, flipped them over so we can see what the tiles are, and these are our pool. And we've got a stack then of the remaining cards there. So everyone will have their guild boards and their player pieces and special tokens there. And we would have this starting tile in the center of the play area, and we are ready to begin playing. Now, playing the game, the player who last built something will go first, and then play proceeds around the table in a clockwise order. And on your turn, you must perform 1 tile action and may also perform 1 special action. And these can be done in any order. Now each guild also has some unique actions available that may allow them to place their guild tokens, and these can be found on their guild boards. So let's take a look at the tile actions. Now these are the mandatory actions, so you have to perform this at some point during your turn. So lay a tile. So you would choose a tile from the face up pool, or take the face down tile from the top of the stack, and you would place that adjacent to a tile in play, ensuring that the edges align. And you then refill the face up pool back to 5 if possible, immediately after placing the tile. So for example, I could take this tile, place that here, and refill the pool. Now, the rotate a tile, what you do is you select a tile at the city's edge that is not fully surrounded by 4 tiles, and then you rotate it. So, for example, I could rotate this tile. But if on a future turn, when I rotate a tile, I can rotate any of the tiles on the edges. I cannot rotate this tile as it's fully surrounded by 4 tiles. And next we come on to the special actions. Now these are all optional. So the first one is place a worker, and you would place one of your workers into the center of any tile unoccupied by a worker. So we could pop that worker there. Move a worker. Now you can move one of your workers to a different unoccupied tile connected by a continuous unbroken road. So I could move my worker to here, or I could move my worker to there. Now you can move your worker as far as you want, so long as it's to a different unoccupied tile connected by a continuous unbroken road. So in this example, I could move to there if I wanted. Now if a break interrupts the road, you move to the center of the tile with the break. So like I say, I could have proceeded to here. Now all the roads have 4 different patterns and colours, as you can see with this example taken from the rule book. Now there is a road pattern bonus. Now if you lay a tile that creates a new unbroken route of exactly 3 tiles with the same road pattern or colour, you earn 1 bonus gold coin. But rotating tiles already in play or joining 4 or more tiles will not earn you that bonus gold coin. So with this example that we did earlier on, as soon as I played that card, then we have an unbroken route of exactly 3 tiles with the same road and pattern, and we would earn our 1 bonus gold coin. Now as an extra action on your turn, you can spend 1 coin to gain 1 additional tile action or special action per turn. Now all of these actions are on your guild playboards. So here we have the tile actions, and this is telling us that we must perform one of the following. You lay 1 tile, you rotate an empty edge tile. Once per game, you can lay 3 tiles at once. And this ability is specific to the Road Toll Collectors Guild. For example, the Merchants Guild, you can lay a tile with at least 1 market stall on top of any unoccupied edge tile. So each of the guilds are going to be working in slightly different ways. And here we have the special actions. So you may also perform one of the following. You can place one of your workers, or you can move one of your workers. And then here we have any special actions that are specific for the guild. So with the Merchants Guild here, a special action is place the pop-up market token. And for the Toll Collectors Guild, their special action is place the bridge token. Now we come to the end of the game. Now once the last tile has been played, that player completes their turn and the game ends. And now players will calculate their scores based on their guild specific scoring rules, which can be found on each guild's board. And in addition to their guild scores, players score extra points for their unspent coins. So 1 unspent coin at the end of the game will give you 1 point, 2 will give you 3, 3 will give you 5 points, and 4 will give you 7 points. And if you have more than 4, then each additional coin will earn you 1 extra point. You can use the scorepad to record the points, and the player with the highest total wins. And in the event of a tie, the tied player with the most coins will win. If this is also a tie, then the tied players will share the victory. And there you have it. Congratulations! The Queen bestows her favour, and your guild will reign supreme. Well, that's the basics on how the game plays. But of course, each guild is completely unique and will score completely differently to all other guilds at the end of the game. So there are 6 guilds included. I'll just go over two just as an example, because I don't want to make this video too long. If we have a look at the Gardener's Guild, we can see we get 1 point for each tree in a qualifying garden. And now a qualifying garden is 4 or more directly connected green spaces with no road between, containing trees or bushes. And if we have a look at the example on the back here, we can see that we have got 4 trees in a qualifying garden here, as there is no road blocking them, and there are 4 or more. And also, if we look at this part here, we have 2 bushes and 2 trees. So that's 4 trees or bushes connected. So each of those 2 trees there are worth 1 point each. Now, additionally here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trees and bushes, so this tree will score 1 point. And now if we look at a straightforward one, we will get 2 points for each fountain token we've placed. So again, as we can see here, we get 2 points for that fountain. And then we get 1 point for each tile adjacent to a fountain that contains any green spaces. And a green space is one with a tree or with bushes in. So as we can see here, we are going to score 1 point for this tile, 1 point for this tile, and 1 point for that tile, because they've got trees or bushes in those tiles. And then finally, we'll get 1 point for each statue that's in a scoring garden. So this statue is in a scoring garden, so that will score 1 point. So that's an example of the Gardener's Guild scoring. Let's take a look at the Road Toll Collectors Guild now. At the end of the game, they will score 1 point for their longest road starting on a statue tile, and will score 1 point if their longest road ends on a statue tile. So we can see here in this example, it starts here and it starts on a statue tile and it ends here on a statue tile. So that will score you 1 point and an extra point for 2 points. And then you will get 1 point for each tile in the longest unbroken route, including roads connected by your bridge. And the tiles may be used twice in the same route, but they only score once. So as you will see in this example, you're going to get 1 point, 1 point over the bridge, 1 point here, and then 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and then we will skip that tile because we scored it, and skip that tile because we scored it already, and also this one, and then we get 1 point here, and then finally another point there at the end of the road. So like I say, each of the guilds works quite differently. Read the scoring instructions on the front of the guild very carefully, and then refer to the scoring example on the back of the guild boards to make sure you fully understand the scoring before you start playing. So for example here, the City Watch Guild has got an extra tile action there. They can rotate 2 empty edge tiles, and as a special action they can place their wall token. And here the Druids, their tile action differs here in that the lay 1 tile action, when they perform that, they can take a look at the top tile in the face down stack, and they can use that one or choose one of the 5 face up tiles in the pool. And their special action is to place the shrine token. Road Toll Collectors Guild, well, their extra tile action is once per game they can lay 3 tiles at once, and their special action is to place their bridge token. The Wizard Guilds, well, they don't have any extra tile actions, but they do have 2 extra special actions, and they can move another player's worker, and their second special action is they can place a wizard tower token. Then the Merchants Guild, their extra tile action there is they can lay a tile with at least 1 market stall on top of any unoccupied edge tile. Good. Their special action, place the pop-up market token. And then finally we come to the Gardener's Guild. Now they do not have any extra tile actions, and their special action is they place a fountain token. There you have it, Guildlands, a rather wonderful tile laying game with a bit of a twist there. You have 6 guilds that all work and score completely differently. Now, this means that the replayability of this game is just astounding. It really is, because it's going to take you a while to get into how each guild plays and how to best maneuver around the board to score the most points at the end of the game. So, you're going to be playing this for quite some time, I can tell you. This is a rather clever, bit of a head-scratcher puzzler of a game that ultimately is very, very satisfying to play. Well, I must admit, I was really taken by surprise by this game. It is such a joy to play, although like I said, you will get that brain burning or you'll get that brain scratching moments there when you're playing, but it's so satisfying and so rewarding. So if you are lucky enough to be going to Gen Con this year, you really need to take a look at this game. I personally would give it a big Fun with Boxes thumbs up. We really, really enjoy playing this game. We've only played it 2-player at the moment, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how the game develops with more players and more interactions. It certainly was a very satisfying 2-player game, and I'm expecting it to ramp up a level or 2 with extra players. Well, there you have it. I do hope you enjoyed taking a look at this game with me. If you did, please hit the old like button, and also please hit that subscribe button if you would be so kind, because that would really help to grow the channel. And in the meantime, as always, please do take care, and bye for now.